welcome to What the Flick, episode 6, season 2 of American Crime Story, the Assassination of Gianni Versace.
Who?
Descent.
He at least appeared in it.
Meredith, Alonso. I know. This is like if you promised me a miniseries about Harvey Milk and then made me sit through 8 episodes of Dan White eating Twinkies and talking about fags.
Right.
Like, this is not what I signed up for. I'm sorry.
That's right. So, and it's incredibly well made, and I get it's good, and the performances are all good. But you just said it, I'll steal your line. I mean, this is a show that focuses deeply on a person that after 10 seconds with them, you would do anything you could to cross the room at a cocktail party to get away from him. I mean, you would, this is not so, and to see people taken with him, although we keep getting it sort of just after they've realized what a douche he is.
Right.
But you know, and so we get more now of Jeff and David, who are just the, again, like, you know, by far the loveliest people in this story, and all of we're like, oh, Jesus, you know, get out. You know, they don't get out.
Get out of the house.
And they're real people, so it's particularly tragic. Yeah.
It's I guess where I'm on it, because like last night's episode, it was uncomfortable. Obviously, I mean, you know,
really
watching the level of commitment that both Darren Criss and then Andrew Cunanan had to living this false life is just very uncomfortable to watch. But then also, like, I feel like I had already seen a lot of these scenes because the whole issue with the postcard to Jeff's parents and so many of the stuff, it was discussed in the last 2 episodes that I feel like, okay, just even watching it unfold wasn't really that new or exciting.
Yeah, it's not like the first conversation tells you anything that the second and third ones didn't earlier.
Yeah, I mean.
Right, it turned out it was revealed earlier that he had sent a postcard, and it turns out, yes, he sent a postcard.
He did.
Okay, cool, he did it. I don't know, and like, I think where it's getting away from me is that I've started going through the 210-page FBI document on Andrew Cunanan.
You got no one to blame but yourself there.
I know. Yeah. But
look in the mirror.
I'm like, why? What am I doing with my life? Apparently reading FBI documents because I have nothing else to do. But the reaches that they're putting into this show, it's starting to bother me now because, like, at least with the O.J. Simpson trial, we had enough like open facts and people were watching that a lot of that was, you know, there were some like interpersonal relationships that they expounded upon. But this is just like, okay, so truth, Andrew Cunanan did take the master bedroom from his parents. That actually his mother is admitted to that and neighbors have said as such. Apparently they might have actually delivered him a lobster lunch over school one day. But then like the idea that Lee Miglin was at the house for this party, it's just, it's such a stretch. That there's no documented proof of that. And it's starting, I guess.
See, I thought both those things were lies. So it's actually kind of fascinating. Like, oh wait, that really happened.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think like the more I learn about the facts surrounding the case, the more I'm kind of like exasperated at why they had to make up so
But also,
much.
actually, in a sense, although I never would have known this unless the conversation with you, that makes it a little bit more interesting. That here he is telling that, but it is of course.
It sounds like a lie because everything he does.
Right, I mean, it's like dealing with my daughter who said this morning that she brushed her teeth, and it turns out I think she did, but I said, no, you didn't. And why can't you throw herself on the floor? Why don't you believe me? I go, you lie about everything. You know? I mean, you're 4. I'm not really mad, but I mean, of course
you have to earn that level of trust.
Exactly, yeah.
I do want to give a shout out to Terry Sweeney, who plays Michael Nouri's friend at the beginning, who takes him aside with the advice.
Then there's no one in there. I'm going out there with people who love me. Then it's filled with people who don't know
you. Yes, some delicious lines for him. Terry Sweeney, the first openly gay SNL cast member. Unfortunately, had the misfortune of doing it on one of SNL's very worst seasons, the 84-85 year, through no fault of his own. His Nancy Reagan was killer. But anyway, he's a writer and a comedian, and you know, I thought it had turned in a really great performance. And it's always good to see him on TV.
Just to say, we don't see him on TV a lot.
And you know, and I totally forgot back several episodes ago, we didn't talk about Amy Mann, which was really that was a highlight.
I didn't realize it was Amy Mann, but as I told you, you realized instantly that it was somebody because there was a close up.
Yeah, very long close up.
And she was very good. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
totally. And I thought the casting of Michael Nouri was cool, just because like. Again, like he's such the sort of 80s heartthrob, and you know, it has turned into a very distinguisty gentleman of a certain age.
And he's great, and so many of these people. You know, Mike Farrell's great as Lee Miglin, and sort of the pathetic way that you know, because again, that's what you don't get is like I mean, if I guess because he's so desperate, because he's closeted so long that even being treated horribly by this guy for sale. Like you could think, well, there are other people who will be nicer to you for your money. But he's still like he's so desperate.
Well, yeah,
to have
but
that
also,
connection
and not if you think that's what you deserve.
Right, that's right. Oh, yeah,
there's a whole thing that and yeah, I mean, I think there's a way to portray. There are charmers like this who get away with a lot of things and who dazzle a lot of people for a while. But you're right, we tend to, by the time we enter the story, it's like they have been dazzled and they're like, yeah, no.
But it's an interesting comparison then of what happens for a guy like Lee Miglin then in the character of Lee Miglin, perhaps not the real Lee Miglin, but the character Mike Farrell plays and the character Michael Nouri plays. They're both great, but they're handling this. They're both completely capable of leading essentially identical lives, right? They're wealthy, older people. If they want to hire a guy to come hang out with them, Michael Nouri's completely comfortable. He's like, you'll sleep with me or not. I'm prepared for you to continue doing exactly what you're doing. Right?
But Michael Nouri is obviously out enough that he can live with a younger man in his house, and Lee Miglin isn't married to a woman. And,
right. So, but there also is so there is desperation in Mike Farrell. You see, even when he walks away, that's just they have a great shot of him just trailing. Right. Whereas Michael Nouri has an equally sort of great scene where just the way he says, no. I'm not going to give it to you. I mean, all you
don't have a PhD.
No, you don't. You don't have a PhD. But all you have to do is take some classes.
Yeah.
And you can continue to have this life.
Even better, he was trying to give him the opportunities that Cunanan, the character, never wanted. It's like, wow, here's a perfect out for you. You could actually have this life. You could live everything you want.
You could earn it.
Yeah, but that's the thing is he doesn't want to earn anything. He just wants it to be given to him.
Yeah, he feels entitled to all this stuff.
It'd be great. I mean, I know it doesn't work like this, but it'd be great if, Michael Nouri and Mike Farrell just kind of got together and
solved crime.
Exactly.
Chased gay serial killers.
Right. Michael Nouri spent a lot of time. Stop it. Stop acting it. Stop being so desperate. You're great. Jesus, knock it off. But I like Nouri also when he just, when he says, first class, and Cunanan says, foreign and domestic, and Nouri goes, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Of course, right.
And then going, so on the whole, kind of be honest with yourself, we go to that dinner with David, and David's like, tell me the truth. I just want to know one simple truth.
But it's telling the things that he chooses to tell. I thought were more lies. I'm now finding out they're true, but they sound ridiculous.
They sound ridiculous.
Well, the stuff about his parents,
and that's his go-to. That's the thing that he thinks is going to impress other people.
Exactly, and it's not that's if you had brought David out to I don't know, you didn't have to go to Chateau Marmont. You could have gone
Take him to Pink's.
Exactly, right? Get a hot dog. I think he would have appreciated it so much more. But just the whole line where he's like. And he filters truths in with the lies. Like his dad was a stockbroker, and his dad in reality had lost a significant amount of money and sold the house out from under the parents. But he never went on to become a pineapple plantation farmer in the Philippines. He just moved back.
It's learning that it's true. It is. I mean, he's such a loathsome person, and I guess many loathsome people have childhoods that make you understand their loathsomeness, but. It does make it a little heartbreaking, and you see David's reaction of thinking what you thought, what I thought, which is these are lies, and they're insane lies to be telling. And it turns out this is true, but Andrew thinks this is what people will be impressed with.
Right, but I think it's also a failing of the show then to not somehow let us know that he is telling the truth, because we're not all going to read the however many page FBI brief, and that actually is a dramatic moment that means something if we know what the meaning is.
And maybe we'll find out next week when we go even further into Andrew Cunanan's
childhood.
Yes,
there's still 3 more episodes of this thing.
So it's just
would it have served that moment better to have had a scene with his mom earlier? They can do whatever they want. They could have had him go to his mother earlier, where he says to her, for crying out loud, Mom, you never let me be a regular kid. You brought lobster to me and passed it through the fence. You gave me the master bedroom. Why,
Yeah, or even just an FBI, somebody reading a file, something. We're already playing with time here. There's a million ways they could have done this. And I think, and it's the more I think about this, the more I'm madder now at this show for not, setting up this stuff that we should be on.
I think the biggest disservice the show has done is gone in a reverse chronological order. I think if we had actually started and let it unfold to the end where Versace's actually murdered, I think it would have been a more effective tale.
Yeah, and they could have woven Versace through it in a way they're doing. But we abandoned him for whole chunks of this thing.
And that's clearly intentional. I mean, this is Andrew Cunanan's story, and maybe this is how you sell the show.
I guess.
But
they should have done it like the last 5 years, where we start with Cunanan at the beginning and Versace at the end, and then in the middle they meet, and then we go back.
I don't. My problem is not the linear method. My problem is repulsion to Cunanan and bewilderment as to why.
What's the point of all this?
What's the point of all this when we know we're not getting a full answer?
Yeah.
And why people weren't all like first gay character first out character on SNL.
Oh, Terry Sweeney.
Yeah.
Why people aren't all like Terry Sweeney, who clearly spent 3 minutes with him and turned to Michael Nouri. He was like, "What are you doing?"
I smell trouble.
Yeah. So I mean, he is. And even his lovely, what's the girl's name? We love her too.
Oh, right, the friend. Yeah.
The friend. Why she doesn't also sort of get his.
No, she kind of plays along with it.
Yeah,
I
think she gets a version of him.
Yeah, she's a little more charming, and he's a little more rakish rather than so menacing. Yeah.
All right, so we'll see where this thing goes.
Yeah, 2/3 of the way in. 3 more episodes.
We'll be back next week. Thanks for watching.